Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to Ben Hollingshead, with special thanks to Anerdinwarpaint, Matthew Holmquist, and Nathan Welch Jr., who have all helped make this series possible. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Wasteland 3. Things got off to a bit of a rough start last time, but we're here in Colorado, so let's see if we can start rebuilding, shall we? First up, I have immediately boosted retcon strength. We'll need that for big guns and heavy armor. I've mostly left his skills alone. I put placeholder points in toaster repair and weird science, but we're not going to worry about those too much right now. I've also gone ahead and burned off our first perk point on Move Up. It's not much, but it should help him get into a more advantageous position before he otherwise turns himself into a stationary turret. As for Doll, her first couple of points go into Awareness, which will, of course, make her slightly deadlier, but it more notably gives her a small boost to Perception, which we are going to need. She's our primary scout, so we'll want to boost her Perception relatively quickly. With skills, we shored up her lockpicking and explosives, but we did keep 4 points floating. We're not sure where we need those just yet, so best to keep them in reserve. As for perks, we went ahead and grabbed Bomb Recovery. Not the most exciting perk, but it does grant a 1 in 3 chance of salvaging explosives every time we disarm a trap. It specifies landmines, but it does appear to affect anything that's labeled as a trap. I think the only thing it doesn't apply to is when you're disarming alarms. Then we've got Ian Longway, our resident tech support. At least for more conventional tech. The weird stuff goes to retcon. Pretty standard. I went full cheese here. Poindexter, Bookworm, full 10 points of charisma. And we did notably put an extra point into strength as well. In fact, we're going to want to boost that up to 4 points as quickly as possible, because durability is definitely going to be a problem with just 2 strength on most of our characters. That goes double for Ian, because he's actively penalized by Poindexter. As far as skills go, about what you'd expect. Mechanics, nerd stuff, small arms, and armor modding. He's not going to be much of a fighter, but his primary goal in combat will be deploying robots, neutralizing enemy robots, and if we can find him one, wielding a decent energy pistol. In fact, if we find ourselves with points left over, we might also give him weird science, just for a little extra versatility. As far as perks go, we have not selected one yet, though I do have my eye on Opportunist, but I've also got my eye on Deep Pockets, which we might want to take first, depending on how quickly we start finding deployables. And that brings us to the 4th and final member of our squad, the face of our team, Bonkers. Yeah, Colorado's a weird place. Conceptually, he's a pretty standard, highly mobile combat medic. We want him to be able to zip all over the map and to attack enemies from any range. As far as perks go, Deep Pockets is an obvious choice. We'll need extra space for more medical gear. But there are also a few tempting ones in the automatics tree. Most notably Gopher Hunter for accuracy, and Stormer, though that one's a bit of a ways out. The general idea is that he'll be moving around a lot anyway, so getting a free attack for moving is certainly appealing. Now, I will note that this is the build I'm least confident in, but I did want to give it a shot. We already have a mime, might as well have a clown as well. The plus 0.4 speed is pretty solid, and Vicious Avenger is obviously intended to offset the low penetration value of the submachine gun. So I'll be curious to see how this works out for us. Worst case scenario, we can always just build a completely new recruit and swap them in. Anyway, let's have a look around. Got a lot of containers to loot, and we need to familiarize ourselves with our new base. This terminal is displaying information about the base's systems. All seems normal. The status reports indicate that all is normal at the moment. An option displaying old security alerts shows a number so long, it goes off the right edge of the screen. That's probably normal. After some searching, you access a hidden menu. The core processor is jammed with thousands of queued requests, dating back a century. It's a wonder the servitors can make any decisions at all. Time for Longway to earn his keep. You take a little time to test your code before running it, then watch the stale requests disappear. Processing returns to standard capacity. With the accumulated clutter cleared, the system shows only a few thousand unread messages. Navigating it should be somewhat easier. Everything's relative. Let's have a look at those logs. Log data backed up to archive room server. Okay. I guess that's all we can do here for now. Let's see what else we can find. Oh, nice. A modest assortment of low-tier armor. Let's go ahead and get some of that equipped. Retcon obviously gets the rad tech. He's the only one who's actually strong enough for it right now. Yeah, I like that better. Crit boosting hat goes to Doll to bolster her Alpha Strike ability. Modest armor on Longway. Plus, we'll give him the hat. He has an odd number in strength, so that'll give him a substantial boost to his constitution. Ooh, I actually like the way that looks. That's not terrifying at all. Alright, what else we got? Basically vendor trash for us. Long mag, okay. Pocket dock. Mounted to a piece of chest armor, this small box supplements medical treatment with sophisticated vitals data. The healing bonus is pretty trivial, but +1 armor is always nice. Junk. Oh, hey, an actual luck proc. Don't get used to those. Old Journal. This journal has a plastic holographic cover featuring a jet that banks and turns, depending on the angle you look at it. On the inside of the cover is written, Journal of Alley Blue. Very 80s. Well, let's have a look at that journal. The pages of this journal are yellowed with age, and the ink is faded with time in many of the earlier entries. It appears to have belonged to someone named Alley Blue. The last entry reads, November 30th, 2059. Gabriel Reyes and Althea Wesson came to our compound today. There was a tense bit where Sydney shot at them, but fortunately Jordan was there and recognized them from that time over in Balkan Park. They brought some coffee, and we talked over a warm drink. It was nice, civil, pleasant even. Strange to not be at the throats of someone not in the family, but that was the whole point, I suppose. They want us to head back into the city next week to meet with a man named Saul Buchanan. They even suggested relocating to Colorado Springs. Abandon the Peterson. Imagine that. We've been safe here for years, and they want us to move out and, what, become neighbors with them? And those despicable Knoxes? We'll go to the meeting. They said this Buchanan fellow's very persuasive, and they promised us a tin of that coffee, so it won't be a total loss to check it out. But I'm certainly bringing my guns. Interesting. 2059. That would be about 60 years after the war, and about 40 years before Wasteland 2. We know Saul Buchanan is the guy who eventually became the Patriarch, so this obviously dates back to the founding of his empire. Container in the next room. Oh, right, these guys. Rhett, you're on deck.
Rangers, come talk to me when you've got a moment. Want to discuss staffing and recruiting, that kind of thing.
No time like the present.
Good job, Rangers. Nice to be able to hear ourselves think again. And now that it's quiet enough to talk, let me reintroduce you to the great Sergei Greatsky, who's going to be helping you with personnel.
Hi again, Rangers. Damn sorry about your people. But now that you're here, we'll do what we can to get you back on your feet and find you some new recruits, just like the Patriarch promised you. And I already got you one of the best. Meet Marcelo Gonzalez, electronics wizard, radio technician, and former dispatcher for the Marshals. He'll be your radio operator.
Howdy, Rangers. While you were dealing with the alarms, I took the liberty of installing a combat AI in your vehicle. Should help you out. If you want to chat, I'll be in the operations room getting things up and running.
Should be more recruits arriving soon. Ready to tell me how you want to fill out your squad?
We're actually one step ahead of you, but I do appreciate the thought. Before we get to all that, we've got a few questions.
Of course, ask away.
Can you and Quan tell us more about yourselves?
Well...
Well, Sergei won't blow his own horn, so I'll do it for him. He's Colorado's greatest war hero. Fought by the Patriarch's side from the beginning and saved the old man's life about 100 times, right, Sergei?
75. Tops. Now, let me tell you about Mr. Slick here. Nobody knows the streets and alleys of Colorado Springs, or the people that live there, better than dashing Darius Quan.
You're too kind, Sergei.
Uh-huh. You two, volunteered for this.
Yeah, I was getting a little itchy doing the same old in the Marshals.
And retirement was driving me stir-crazy. Just sitting around listening to the paint peel. I jumped at the chance to help you folks out.
You both seem awful eager to help a group of unknown outsiders. Why are you really here?
It's no lie that I've been looking to leave the Marshals, but you're right. That's not the whole story. The Patriarch asked me to keep an eye on you, so here I am.
And I am truly sick of retirement. But, yeah, I'm doing the Patriarch a favor too.
So, you're spies.
Let's say liaisons. The Patriarch wants you to succeed, and he knows it's not going to be easy. You're strangers in a strange land.
You don't know the politics. You don't know the personalities. Who hates who? Where the bodies are buried.
That's where we come in. We're here to make sure you don't make too many rookie mistakes, step on the wrong toes. And yeah, we're supposed to report back to the Patriarch about how you're doing. But you didn't really expect to be left completely to your own devices, did you?
That does not sound nearly as reassuring as you probably intended it to be. But it's not like we've got much choice for now. What was the deal with the alarms and the robots?
Not sure exactly. We came by a week and a half ago and it was stone quiet.
We were gonna get the place cleaned up before you got here. But then the Dorseys attacked the city, so it got put on the back burner.
Something must have triggered the security systems between then and now. Could have been anything.
Makes sense. The servitors did mention that they reactivated about a week ago. How long has this place been abandoned?
Patriarch chased out the last big gang maybe 10 years back. Before that, all kinds of bandits, militias, and cults have lived here since the deluge.
Recently, it's been mostly outlaws and refugees. We should check around to see if there are any current occupants.
Could be what set off the alarms.
What's the deluge? We've been hearing that word a lot.
Around these parts, we call the nuclear apocalypse the deluge of fire, because, well, that's what it was.
Noah's flood was the deluge of water. The nukes were the deluge of fire.
Which I guess makes the deluge of blood even more ominous, doesn't it? What was the radio operator saying about putting a combat AI in our vehicle?
Gonzalez? He's a whiz with stuff like that. The AI will allow you to give the vehicle orders in combat without having to be inside it. Basically, it'll become another member of your squad.
Well, isn't that convenient? That's all the questions we have for now.
Okay, what's next?
Well, we have already filled out our squad, so we can just skip that. We'll just move on. Let's talk about the next steps.
Absolutely. We can talk about recruitment anytime. And if you meet talented people in your travels, don't hesitate to sign them up. Now, you're the boss here, so I'm not going to tell you what to do, but getting this place up and running wouldn't be a bad place to start. That means surveying the base and finding specialists to staff it.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a perfectly reasonable place to start. Surveying the base sounds good.
Perfect. That'll give you a chance to see if any of the junk around here is worth keeping before I toss it all out. After that, you might want to give Sheriff Daisy a hand. If you impress her, maybe she'll hook you up with some specialist for the base. Anyway, your call. Colorado Springs is straight out the main gate. If you want to go to Denver or Aspen, just hop back in your car and go out the way you came in.
Okay. Thanks for the info.
One sec. Forgive me for saying so, but I'm guessing you folks are gonna need as much help in the field as you will here in HQ. So, what if I joined your squad? At least until you find your feet.
I don't know. What do you have to offer us?
Well, I know this city like the back of my hand. And this city knows me. My time in the Marshals means I've got connections and trusted informants everywhere. Plus, I'm a sure shot and a decent scrapper. And, though it hurts my civic pride to say it, there are places around here where those things might come in handy.
Well, I am not crazy about the idea of having a self-professed spy tagging along. But he is right. We do need the help. We will, of course, be keeping an eye out for potential replacements, though.
Great. I'm at your disposal. Lead the way.
Nice balanced stats. That lower charisma definitely means he's going to be trailing behind us, though. Might boost it. Hard to say if we'll actually have him in the squad long enough for it to matter. Persuasion and stealth are both redundant. We don't want skill challenge XP going to him, so we'll keep him primarily focused on just being a rifleman. I don't think we have any upgrades for him right now. Oh, you know what? Let's get these quick slots filled. Don't actually have a whole lot to play with just yet. But that will change. Just gotta give it some time. Alright, let's start clearing this place out. With any luck, we'll find a few more toys to get our guys out with.
Pretty grand in here. Maybe you can make it your trophy hall or museum or something, or a handball court.
Looks like we found archives. Lots of loot scattered, a couple of razorbacks. I'm guessing those are mutated porcupines. Let's try setting up over here. Gotta make sure we take advantage of crouching. Just in time. Oh, no, hey, stop. Whoa. Dang it. They really need to get a tactical pause or something in here. That could have been a disaster. Alright, reset. No. Longway's too fragile. Gotta keep him tucked in back. Okay, let's try this again. Oh. Well, okay then. Wow, alright, you know what? I was gonna say having to reset was annoying, but that payoff, definitely worth it. No point in rushing a melee opponent. We'll just hang back and wait.
I see him! Epic finish!
Lovely. That, all things considered, that actually worked out pretty nicely. Radical Rachel. She'd like to see the whole world burn. Afterwards, it's her own turn. Plus 5% explosive damage to all squad members. Not too shabby. A fallen billboard. Who put it here? I will agree, that is an odd place for a billboard. Okay, so nothing particularly great aside from the doll. The power button on the machine resists your press, seemingly rusted in place. It makes a sandy crunch as it finally gives way. The screen comes to life with a sad beep. Raid failure. Corruption detected across multiple sectors. Initiating automated repair operations. Recovery complete. View recovered logs? Yeah, we'll give them a quick look. There are fewer logs than you'd expect for a base of this size. Many have suffered data corruption and are unrecoverable, but you find a few that are legible. Personal log, Colonel Forschetti, March 22nd, 1998. The world ended yesterday. Our missile defense system saved Colorado Springs, but Denver is gone, and we can't make contact with anyone outside the state. Discipline will keep my men in line, but we've only got a few days until the civilians panic. We'll need to prepare to hold out until we can reconnect with Washington. And by a few, you meant one. This file is encrypted. You're able to find the custom script that did it, and reverse engineer the key. Personal log, 2nd Lieutenant Halcott, September 15th, 1995. He fixed his gaze on the monitor, fingers deftly tapping the keys, expertly covering his tracks as he pulled data from the system. Lieutenant Amore kept stealing glances back at him, enraptured by his steely blue eyes, as she watched the doorway for the guards. Have you found the evidence yet, Captain Halcombe? We don't have much time left. The captain hit a few more keys and nodded. He pulled the floppy disk from the drive and signaled to the lieutenant. Quickly, back to the vent. Ladies first, he said, helping Lieutenant Amore up to the ceiling ducts. Despite her generous curves, she nimbly slid into the duct, and Captain Halcombe was easily able to pull himself up and follow her, sliding the grate back into place just as guards swung by on their patrol. I approve. You know what? Let's go ahead and see if we can crack that next one. Yeah, we can go all the way up to 5 if we need to, but hopefully 4 should be enough. This log has been erased, but wasn't properly scrambled. You're able to flag the data as not deleted, and the log appears in your list. Personal log, Colonel Ferschetti, July 2nd, 2000. Another suicide today. We're too visible here. Peterson is defensible, but the siege is exhausting, physically and mentally. Too many buckling under the strain. We need a better solution before there are none of us left. I'm planning an evacuation to the secondary complex. The sooner we abandon this hellhole, the better. Secondary complex. Interesting. Yeah, let's crack the next one. We'll just have to hope we can get by until we hit level 5. That's not too far off. Yeah, okay. Just wanted to make sure he had the badge equipped. Whoever wrote this custom encryption thought they were really smart. They really should have just used the standard one. Personal log, 2nd Lieutenant Halcott, October 25th, 1995. Die, Halcombe, die! General Trident fired his laser pistol, but the captain was too quick, vaulting over the desk and evading the energy burst. My plan was perfect. Curse your meddling and expert hacking talents. Once I dispose of you, I'll upload InfoMine to the internet, and no one will be able to oppose me. Your plan fell apart the second you moved me to data entry, General Trident. I knew something was up the moment my abilities were so grossly misused. He checked his weapon's clip. 1 bullet left. Captain Halcombe smirked. That's all he'd need. Okay, so a power fantasy written by a frustrated officer. Got it. Doesn't really help us, but it is still amusing. Alright, let's have a look at the security logs. Filtering tools help you cull the routine and wholly corrupted reports. You may need a computer expert to access some of the files. Oh, how convenient. We happen to have one right here. July 4th, 2000. Report 1. Classified information purge initiated. Report 2. Erasure complete. Command cleared. Fully autonomous security system activating in T-minus 30 minutes. Report 3. Intrusive movement detected on outer perimeter. Monitoring. Report 4. Intruders retreated without engagement. Monitoring. Right, so that would have been shortly after the soldiers left for the secondary facility. May 26th, 2009. Report 15. Intrusive movement detected on outer perimeter. Monitoring. Report 16. Quadrupedal creature identified as non-hostile. Monitoring deprioritized. Report 25. Creature remains. Report 88. Creature departs. Incidents monitored without engagement. 1,846. Incidents involving security response. 5. January 22nd, 2010. Report 98. Intrusive movement detected on outer perimeter. Monitoring. Report 99. Bipedal creature approaches facility. Deploying servitors. Report 100. Intruder pacified. Incidents monitored without engagement. 2008. Incidents involving security response. 9. Pacified, huh? That might explain the skeletal remains we're finding scattered around. Report 100A. Automated amendment. Intention was for intruder. Logging technological review request with information technology. Report 100. November 28th, 2068. Quite a jump. Report 750. Intruder 32 returns to War Room. Starts fire for Intruders 30, 31, 33. Intruder 34 is providing them with a meal. Logging requisition request for additional servitors. Following abduction of core servitors 5 through 10 by Intruder 11. This request has been logged 1,500 times. Priority elevated. Report 751. Attempting to wake remaining servitors. Wake attempt resulted in failure. Incidents monitored without engagement. 7,242. Incidents involving security response. 15. Incidents with failed security responses. 1. Incidents with inability to respond. 4,000. Report 755. Intruder 34, now classified as deceased. 2068. I think that's most likely the Alley Blue party. The group that the Patriarch was trying to lure out to Colorado Springs. Maybe they couldn't come to an agreement. It is interesting, seeing the pieces starting to fit together. August 26th, 2102. Report 1. System wake-up complete. Accessing database. No new information since catastrophic failure reported at 16:06/2071, 623. 2071. Report 2. Intruders 69 to 73 logged in War Room. Servitors not responding to wake-up instruction. Monitoring. Report 57. Intruder 71 has fully repaired monitoring systems. Intruder 69 has gained access to monitoring systems. Report 66. Self-diagnostic complete. Servitors 103, 22, and 616 present, but unresponsive. Primary power unresponsive. Secondary power at 20%. Primary processing reports all good. Intriguing. I'm not sure what the exact timeline would be, but I think 2102 is when Wasteland 2 took place, which would put this game in 2107. October 5th, 2107. Report 685. Intrusive movement detected at perimeter. Intruder 159 logged and approaching. Report 686. Intruder 158 detects Intruder 159 and returns to barracks. Various intruders seem perturbed and barricade door to barracks. Report 690. Intruder 159 retrieves after accessing War Room and Armory. Servitors remain unresponsive. Report 701. Intruder 156 departs barracks, enters brig, and accesses computer terminal. Horrible intruders. Okay, so that was definitely shortly before the game starts. That must have been Greatski and Quan scouting the facility, and spooking someone else who's squatting here. Report 702. Intruber has initiated Gemeraber Restarb. Power coming online. Servitors waking. Reb alert. Yeah, and that would explain why the alarms were going off. And why the servitors had just been reactivated a week ago. Some bad metadata kept this file from filtering properly, but you're able to easily repair it. February 14th, 1999. After the end of the world, but before the total evacuation. Report 2. Radio signal reconstrued from partial bursts over past 2 months. Transcript follows. Good people of Arizona, we, the remaining officers of the 249th Engineer Battalion, have been unable to contact our leaders at ForceCom for too long, and have come to the unfortunate conclusion that our government has fallen. Every one of us here joined the Army to protect the people of these United States, and even if the U.S. is no more, we intend to continue to protect you to the best of our ability. We've heard your cries for help on the radio, and we want you to know help is coming. Keep calling, shelter in place, and stay strong. We're on our way. This message will repeat. That is pretty cool. That's the birth of the Rangers. It's a nice touch. You fix an overwrite error at the start of this log, and it becomes legible. March 21st, 1998. I believe that is the deluge of fire. Report 5. Citadel Star Station reports confirmed. Anti-ballistic countermeasures armed. Alert status raised to red. Report 77. NORAD tracking confirms multiple incoming contact signals. Protective countermeasures allocated to high-priority targets. Personnel ordered to report to assigned stations and shelters. Report 221. Connor confirms countermeasures in local area 95% effective. Cannot raise communication with NORAD headquarters or PACOM. Cannot raise communications with White House. Yeah, that's definitely the deluge of fire. Report 222. Revised estimates of success rate of countermeasures outside of local area are at 5%. Alert status remains red. It's nice to finally have some context on the overarching timeline. File termination characters are missing for these logs. Tricky, but you're able to find the proper spots to fix them. April 16th, 2021. Kind of a dead spot right in the middle of the timeline. Report 72. Primary generator failure reported at 2/2/2021, 562. Will result in catastrophic failure of security system if not resolved. Information technology has not responded to repair queries. Report 90. Core servitors placed into sleep mode to preserve power to monitoring systems. Secondary processing system placed into sleep mode to preserve power to primary processing. Report 72A. Automated amendment. Intention was for catastrophic. Logging technological review with information technology. Report 72. Right, so that marks the point where the reduced processing power starts causing it to become corrupted. Report 91. System setting designation to sleeping, but vigilant. Sorry to really kind of get stuck into that, but I find the timeline fascinating. It's something they've never really hammered down in the Wasteland mythos. So that gives us a whole lot of additional context, plus some potential clues for the current events. Yeah, see, there is our intruders barricaded in the barracks.
Well, this must have been the mess hall. Better get this up and running pronto. Keeping your people well fed is probably the easiest way to keep them loyal.
Cold food. The food on these tables is cold and partially eaten, but not rotten. It's clear someone recently fled mid-meal. Interesting. That might be the people in the barracks, but why wouldn't they take the food with them? Okay, we've got a toaster, and we could crack it open if we wanted to, but there's actually a perk that boosts the loot you get from toasters, so we're going to hold off on that for now and come back for it later. There's the brig, where one of the intruders from the barracks restarted the generators and set off the alarms.
Please, don't shoot!
The woman is gaunt, her clothes ragged. She is surrounded by a group of bedraggled vagrants who watch you with fear and mistrust.
Who are you? You're not dressed like the marshals.
You're not supposed to be here.
We live here. Been sheltering here for months. We've got nowhere to go, so we're asking, begging you to let us stay.
Bad idea. I've been in their shoes, but this is a military base. If we have squatters everywhere, it'll be hard to keep discipline. Your recruits won't like it either.
The Patriarch's people don't care about people like us, but you're not beholden to them.
She shoots a fearful look at Quan, but he doesn't seem to notice. Where are you from?
We all farmed in the border country between Colorado and the plains. Thought we were safe out there, under the Patriarch's protection. Back then, the gangs feared the Patriarch. Not anymore. They burned our greenhouses and killed everyone who tried to fight them. No place left to run but here, for any of us.
Did you set off the security system?
Not intentionally. The Patriarch's people drove up to the base a few days ago, so we hid in here for a while. Then when Andy went to check if they left, all the doors slammed shut and the alarms started whooping. Don't know what happened. Been living in these ruins for weeks and we never set anything off before.
Yep, that matches what we saw in the logs. Andy must be intruder 156. But she just told us the door sealed shut after the alarm went off, so they'd have been trapped in here for days. So, who was eating out in the cafeteria? Maybe I'm overthinking it. Can't you go live in the city?
We're not welcome there. They already have too many mouths to feed, and more are always coming.
Oof, and there is our first major story decision. Do we aid these refugees, or do we follow the Patriarch's lead and kick them out on their tails? Honestly, as far as moral decisions go, I think this is an easy one. As we were so succinctly reminded by the transcript of the original Ranger broadcast, We're here to help people, and we are going to embrace the Ranger ideal, whether or not the Patriarch approves. All right, you can stay.
Your call. Won't make the volunteers happy, but the Patriarch put you in charge, not them.
Damn straight.
You said yes. I was sure you wouldn't.
The refugees' haggard faces break into smiles. A few of them hug each other.
We won't be any trouble, I promise, and we'll help out wherever we can. Thank you for giving us a chance. Oh, and one of our people is missing, Andy. If you find him hiding out somewhere, you send him back to us? Hear that, everyone? We gotta make ourselves useful around here.
Nice. Of course, that might invite some extra complications later, but we'll deal with that as it pops up. Looks like we've got a basic customization machine, too. I might actually want to make some last-minute adjustments before... No, you know what? We won't worry about that right now. I'll take care of final adjustments on our physical appearance between episodes. Not that it really matters, honestly. Most of the time, the camera's like 80 feet away from us.
October 12th, 1998. 7 months since the bombs fell. Had an incident at the West Gate. Some civilians dug under the fence and tried to make a run for the commissary. Sergeant Peters told us to open fire. Standing orders. There's to be shot on sight. They didn't look like much to me from 80 meters. And when we got close enough to inspect the bodies, I saw why. They looked like scarecrows. Just skin and bone. The oldest was maybe 15. Every time I close my eyes, I see that kid's face. God forgive me. I can't do this anymore.
Yikes. Grim. Very grim. But it does come full circle back to that very first personnel log we read. In fact, I'd have to double-check the date, but it might even be the same incident. Anyway, we are coming up on the hour mark, so let's have one more chat with Hackett, and then we'll hit the pause button.
You're good people, Rangers. We'll find a way to pay you back. Anything you need?
You've had more time to explore the base than we have. Can we ask you about it?
Sure.
Did you touch any of the equipment in the war room?
Andy may have. He's the only one of us who knew computers. I told him to stay out of there because I was afraid of, well, of something like what happened when this whole place got locked down.
Again, I'll have to check the specific dates, but that might have been the security report about someone accessing the monitoring system. Have you checked out the medbay?
We stay away from that awful room. Nothing but death in there.
That, sounds promising. Have you been in the brig?
Yep. There was a man locked in there when we moved in, living off insects and mushrooms in his cell. I left him locked up after I met him. I felt bad about that. He was cordial enough, but he just kept asking questions that felt off. And those glassy eyes.
Interesting. What did you find in the armory?
Booby traps, mostly. One of my people disarmed an explosive on a door, but missed a gas mine under the floor panel on the other side. She was vomiting for a week. Almost died. I told everyone to avoid the room after that. No one here is worth losing over whatever guns may or may not be in there.
Well, fortunately, Rangers are slightly more expendable. Anything we can scavenge in the garage?
Poked my head in there and saw a giant robot next to a dead body. Hard pass.
That is certainly fair. What's in the archive room?
We first got into the base through a hole in the archive room's wall. Some critters living in there chased us around, but we managed to shut them in before anyone got seriously hurt.
Yeah, we, met them.
We've been trying to snare them for a while for fresh meat, but they just chew through the ropes like they're Sour Patch Kids.
Glad to see you're an aficionado of, antique candy. That's all for now. Thanks.
Careful out there. It's an uncaring world.
Yep, can't really argue with that. Okay, so we didn't cover nearly as much of our new base as I would have liked to. But we did uncover a whole lot of interesting information, some of which might be relevant in the future. And we met some new characters, found some new loot, filled out our squad. We also got a good heads up on what to expect in several of these other areas. So, you know what? We'll hit the pause button for now. I'll go fine-tune our appearances, and we'll pick up here next time as we explore the rest of our base and, if we've got time for it, take our first steps out into Colorado Springs proper. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Wasteland 3, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official YouTube or Twitch channels, the official social media feeds, or the official store pages. As always, links are in the description.